Good afternoon. In the last class, we were discussing about the relative refractive index and absolute refractive index. I have told you, relative refractive index is to be defined when ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, such that none of the two media is air or vacuum. Right? In that case, you have to define relative refractive index. On the other hand, when ray of light travels from air or vacuum into some medium, you need to define absolute refractive index. We know how to define refractive index in general. Relative refractive index, a refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium, should be defined as ratio of speed of light in first medium to the speed of light in second medium. This is a relative refractive index. On the other hand, when ray of light travels from, say, air or vacuum into glass, suppose ray of light travels from air or vacuum into glass. In this case, you need to define refractive index of glass with respect to air or vacuum. We write Ng. Ng ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ refractive index of glass with respect to air or vacuum. It is absolute refractive index. It is defined as ratio of speed of light in air or vacuum to that in the medium. The medium here is glass. So, ratio of speed of light in air or vacuum to the speed of light in the glass in this case. This is absolute refractive index. After all understanding what is relative refractive index and absolute refractive index, we will now try to understand the dependency of refractive index of a medium on the wavelength of light. See, refractive index of a medium depends upon the wavelength of light. Had depend after that we will try to understand. Dependence of refractive index of a medium. Dependence of refractive index of a medium on wavelength of light. Dependence of refractive index of a medium on the wavelength of light. Suppose a ray of light is traveling from air or vacuum into, say, glass. Right? Suppose ray of light is traveling from air or vacuum into glass. We know that whenever a ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, it undergoes refraction. Right? Instead of traveling along same straight line, it undergoes bending. This is called as refracted ray, and this is called as incident ray. This is incident ray. Right? Now, when a ray of light travels from air or vacuum to glass, we define ARI or RRI. Relative refractive index is to be defined, or absolute refractive index is to be defined in this case. ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ RRI ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ARI ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? What do you define in this case? What do you define? ARI or RRI? What is to define? ARI. So I define refractive index of glass with respect to air vacuum. So I will be getting refractive index of glass with respect to air vacuum now. I define refractive index of glass with respect to air vacuum as C by Vg. This is how we define absolute refractive index. Refractive index of glass with respect to air vacuum is defined as ratio of speed of light in air vacuum to the speed of light in glass. I have told you to remember this equation. Speed of light is given by F into lambda. Speed of light in air vacuum is given as C is equal to F into lambda, where F is the frequency of light. I have told you, frequency of light does not depend upon the medium in which the ray of light is traveling. Frequency of light is the characteristic property of the source emitting the light. Frequency of light change ಆಗದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. Frequency of light change ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ you have to change the source of light. So F is the frequency of light and lambda is the wavelength of light. See, whenever ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, two quantities change. One is the speed of light and the another is the wavelength of light. Iveru change ಆಗ್ತವೆ, keeping frequency constant. Frequency of light is going to remain constant. So, when ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, there will be a change in speed of light Speed of light changes from c to Vg. In air vacuum, the speed of light was c. In glass, the speed of light is Vg. Speed has changed from c to Vg. Speed of light has changed from c to Vg. Speed change ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Speed ಜೊತೆ change ಆಗೋ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು quantity ಯಾವುದು? F lambda. Which quantity is going to change with speed? Which quantity is going to change with speed? Speed changes. Okay. Next, F ಮತ್ತೆ lambda. Remember, ಯಾವ change ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ which is going to change? Which is going to change? Lambda. Okay. So, I write speed of light in air or vacuum as F lambda air. See, speed of light in air or vacuum is written as frequency into wavelength of light in air or vacuum divided by speed of light in glass. What the speed problem? Speed is equal to frequency into wavelength. So speed of light in glass is frequency into wavelength of light in glass. Speed is equal to frequency into wavelength. Speed of light in glass is frequency of light in glass into wavelength of light in glass. Frequency is not going to change from medium to medium. Change agala. Adike ಎರಡು same barabe. Frequency and frequency get cancelled out. So I can here observe that refractive index of glass with respect to air or vacuum is equals to wavelength of light in air or vacuum divided by wavelength of light in glass. So, how does refractive index of glass depends upon wavelength of light in glass? How does refractive index of glass depends upon wavelength of light in glass? How do they depend? How are they connected? Or how are they related? Refractive index of a medium and wavelength of light in that medium. See, glass is a medium. Refractive index of a medium and wavelength of light in that medium. How are they related? How are they related? They are inversely proportional. Refractive index of a medium and the wavelength of light in that medium are inversely proportional to each other. Refractive index of a medium is inversely proportional to the wavelength of light in that medium. Refractive index is inversely proportional to the wavelength, right? More is the wavelength of light, less is the refractive index. Or you can also say more is the refractive index of a medium, less will be the wavelength of light traveling in that medium. Is that clear? So refractive index and the wavelength of light are inversely proportional to each other. We define the refractive index of glass as C by Vg, absolute refractive index, C by Vg. C is written as F lambda air because C is speed of light in air or vacuum. So F lambda air. Vg is the speed of light in glass. So F into lambda glass. Speed in general form F into lambda. F and F get cancelled out. So refractive index of glass will be refractive index of light in air divided by refractive index of light in glass. So from this we can say refractive index of glass is inversely proportional to wavelength of light in the glass. Right? More is the refractive index of a medium, less will be the wavelength of light in that medium. Right? So this is the relationship between refractive index and wavelength of light. This relationship we will use this relationship again during dispersion of light. Dispersion of light and concept of the prism of light. Actually, the topic is removed, but I'll explain the topic very briefly. And while explaining dispersion of light, we'll take up this discussion again. Right? Refractive index of a medium is inversely proportional to the wavelength of light in that medium. Right? So this is regarding dependence of refractive index on refractive index of a medium on the wavelength of light used. If I write the visible spectrum with dia violet, yellow, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. These colors are visible to our eyes. In this direction, the wavelength of light increases. That means red is at longest wavelength side. Red has longest wavelength. Red has longest wavelength, and violet has the shortest wavelength. Violet has shortest wavelength. Red has the longest wavelength, and violet has got shortest wavelength. Can you tell me for which color of light the refractive index of a medium will be maximum? For which colors of light the refractive index will be maximum? Refractive index ಯಾವ colored light ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? We know that refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength of light. Less is the wavelength, more is the refractive index of the medium. Remember this fact. Iday fact mele will be explaining dispersion of light. White light when passed through prism gets splitted down into 7 colors. Yaake 7 colors ಆಗಿ split ಆಗ್ತದೆ white light ಅಂತ ಇದೇ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ. Refractive index of medium is inversely proportional to wavelength of light. Suppose I have a glass slab. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು glass slab ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Take this as a glass slab. I allow white light to pass through it. White light is made up of 7 colors. ಈ 7 ಕಲರ್ ಕಲ್ತು white light ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. White light na now we call it as composite light. White light is called as composite light because it is made up of several wavelengths. 7 wavelengths of light. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. A light that is made up of several wavelengths, many wavelengths, is called as composite light. A light which has only one wavelength, a light which has single wavelength, is called as monochromatic light. ಯಾವ light ಗೆ ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು wavelength ಇರ್ತದೋ ಅದು monochromatic light. On the other hand, the light that has several wavelengths in it is called as composite light. White light is composite light. Suppose I allow white light to pass through a glass slab. Suppose I allow white light to pass through glass slab. White light is made up of 7 colors. Does glass offer same refractive index to all 7 colors? Does this glass slab offer same refractive index to all 7 colors? All 7 colors ಗೂ same refractive index offer ಮಾಡ್ತದ glass, or it offers different refractive index for 7 colors? Glass offers same refractive index for all 7 colors, or glass offers different refractive indexes for all different colors? All different colors have different wavelengths. Violet ಗಿರೋ wavelength indigo ಗಿಲ್ಲ, indigo ಗಿರೋ wavelength blue ಗಿಲ್ಲ, blue ಗಿರೋ wavelength green ಗಿಲ್ಲ, so on. All 7 colors are characterized by 7 different wavelengths, right? ಈ 7 ಕಲರ್ ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ wavelength ಇರ್ತದೆ. Violet ಇಂದ red color ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ the wavelength goes on increasing, right? So all 7 colors have different wavelengths. Wavelength different, the refractive index of the medium will also be different. Is that clear? I'll tell you what exactly refractive index does. Why refractive index is taken into account. Adanalli dispersion ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, right? Refractive index actually represents the amount that the ray of light is going to bend. More is the refractive index, more will be the bending of light. ಯಾವ ಕಲರಿಗೆ refractive index ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಆ ಕಲರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. We are going to prove that in the case of prism. ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ಗೆ refractive index ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕಲರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Which color has maximum wavelength? You said it. Violet has got maximum refractive index. Violet has got maximum refractive index. Minimum refractive index. Which color has minimum refractive index? ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ಗೆ refractive index ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ? Refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength. Red has the longest wavelength. Red has the longest wavelength. So refractive index should be minimum for red. Refractive index should be minimum for red. ಇಷ್ಟು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪರ್ಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ ಕೆಳಗಡೆಗೆ ವೈಲೆಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ರೆಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಪರ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಒಳಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನೆನಪಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. This is a prism. white light will be allowed to pass through the prism, and white light undergoes dispersion through the prism. ಇಲ್ಲಿ violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. Correct ಅಲ್ಲ? This is the order in which the colors can be observed. The most bent ray is violet. Violet ಬಹಳ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. Actually, the ray of light was expected to travel along a straight line. ಈ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು actually. When the ray of light is allowed to pass through the prism, the ray of light is expected to travel along a straight line. But instead, it is observed that the ray of light undergoes splitting. Split arm, which is the ray of light that is undergoing maximum deviation, maximum bending, it is violet. Because the wavelength of violet light is minimum and the refractive index for it is maximum. ಯಾವ ಕಲರಿಗೆ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಆ ಕಲರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಯಾವಾಗ, ರೈಟ್? ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ಗೆ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಆ ಕಲರ್ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ದ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಕಲರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಬೈ ವಿಚ್ ray of light is going to bend. More is the refractive index, more is the bending. Less is the refractive index, less is the bending, right? We discuss more about this dispersion when we take up prism. Prism where we discuss in detail. My point is, you need to remember this relationship. Refractive index is inversely proportional, or refractive index of a medium is inversely proportional to wavelength of light in that medium. Okay? Is this point clear? Relationship between refractive index and the wavelength of light. Relationship between refractive index and wavelength. This is clear. We will try to understand consequences of refraction. Because the ray of light undergoes refraction, some consequences can be observed, some effects are produced. There are two such effects because of refraction. Light refract ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಲೈಟ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎರಡು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. One is called the lateral shift and the another is called as the normal shift, right? Two effects can be observed because of refraction of light. One is the lateral shift. Lateral shift. See, what is meant by lateral shift? Suppose we have a parallel sided glass slab. Suppose we have a parallel sided glass slab. I can just show you the parallel sided glass slab. I think you will be able to see this. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದ ಇದು ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದ? Can you see this glass? ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದ ಇದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪರೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ? This is a transparent medium. This is a transparent medium and we call this as a parallel sided glass slab. This is called as parallel sided glass slab. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಸೈಡೆಡ್ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಲಾಬ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. See, its sides are parallel. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ parallel, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ parallel. We call this as a parallel sided glass slab. Whenever we allow a ray of light to pass through this parallel sided glass slab, right? Because of refraction, there will be a lateral shift in the ray of light. We'll try to understand what is meant by lateral shift. My point is, lateral shift takes place in case of parallel sided glass slabs, right? So let us suppose this is a parallel sided glass slab. This is parallel sided glass slab, right? Let us suppose its refractive index is n. Either the refractive index n and its thickness. The thickness of this glass slab is t. Glass slab with thickness enable. Suppose if this is the glass slab under consideration, this is called as thickness, right? This is thickness, right? So let us suppose the thickness of this glass slab is T. We will allow a ray of light to travel from air or vacuum into this glass slab. We will allow a ray of light to travel from air or vacuum into this glass slab. At the point of incidence, we will draw a normal. At the point of incidence, we will draw a normal. The angle between incident and the normal. Angle between incident and the normal is called as angle of incidence. It is an angle of incidence. The ray of light is expected to travel along this path. This is how the ray of light is expected to travel. The ray of light is expected to travel along straight line. Does it do so? Does the ray of light travel along straight line? The answer will be no, because the ray of light is traveling from rarer to denser medium. This is a glass slab. Because the ray of light is traveling from rarer to denser medium, the ray of light bends away from the normal. Correct? The ray of light bends away from the normal. Correct? Because the ray of light is traveling from rarer to denser, the ray of light is bending away from the normal. Correct? The ray of light must bend towards the normal. The ray of light beam over instead it bends towards the normal. So here, this is how the ray of light actually travels. Instead of passing along straight line, the ray of light undergoes bending and the ray of light bends towards the normal. The angle between refracted ray, this is called as refracted ray. The angle between refracted ray and the normal is called as angle of refraction. The angle between refracted ray and the normal is called angle of refraction. Again, at this point, if I draw a normal, the ray of light is expected to travel along this path in a straight outward curve. The ray of light is expected to travel along straight line. But see, the ray of light is now traveling from glass to air. Ray of light is now traveling from ray of light. This ray of light is now traveling from glass to air. So the refracted ray bends towards the normal. The refracted ray bends towards the normal, or it bends away from the normal. Ray of light traveling from glass to air bends towards the normal or away from the normal. Now, bend the ray of light should bend towards the normal or away from the normal. The ray of light must bend away from the normal. So this ray of light, instead of traveling along original path, bends away from the normal and travels this way. We call this as emergent ray. This is called as emergent ray. This is the ray of light that finally comes out. Actually, when you allow ray of light to pass through glass slab, you expect ray of light to travel along this path. If you ask one of your friends to stand here and see the source of light, can this person see the source of light if he stands at this position? Can he see the source of light? You ask your friend to stand at this position thinking the ray of light travels along original path in the glass slab. Can he see this source of light if he stands at that position? Can't solve. Instead, what he must do is he must stand somewhere here. Then he will be able to see the source of light. The ray of light doesn't travel along its original path. Instead, it undergoes a shift. The ray of light undergoes a shift. There is a shift in the path of the ray of light. Shift. There is a shift in the path of the light. Right? We say there is a lateral shift in this case. This is called incident ray extended. We dotted line. This is called incident ray extended, and this is called as emergent ray. If I draw a perpendicular from incident ray extended to the emergent ray, this is the perpendicular distance. Between incident ray extended and the emergent ray. Incident ray extended ಮತ್ತೆ emergent ray ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಎಷ್ಟು perpendicular distance ಇದೆ. This perpendicular distance between incident ray extended and the emergent ray is called as a lateral shift. The perpendicular distance ಏನಲ್ಲ, this perpendicular distance between incident ray extended and the emergent ray is called as a lateral shift. Actually ray of light ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ray of light was expected to travel along this path. ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗಂಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, instead the ray of light is shifting through this distance. This distance shift ಆಗಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ray of light. This happens because of ಯಾಕೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ray of light ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. But why is it going this way? Why there is that shift? Why do you observe that shift? ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ? ಯಾಕೆ ಇದು ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು? Can you tell me the reason? What can be the reason for that shift? What can be the reason for that shift? Which phenomenon is responsible for this? Which phenomenon is responsible for this? The phenomenon that is responsible for this is refraction. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಲೈಟ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗದೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ the ray of light have traveled along the same path, but when ray of light travels from air to glass, the ray of light bends towards the north. Then it starts traveling through glass, and now the ray of light has traveled from glass to air. Glass to air. When ray of light travels from glass to air, it's like it's traveling from denser to rarer. When ray of light travels from denser to rarer, it doesn't pass along original path. Instead, it bends away from the north. Notice here normal. Here normal. This is normal. This is the actual path of light. Here it doesn't bend towards normal. Instead, it bends away from normal and travels this. How are incident ray extended and the emergent ray? How are incident ray extended and the emergent ray? Whether they are parallel or perpendicular? The distance noted. This is perpendicular distance. Just tell me, how are incident ray and the emergent ray? How are incident ray and the emergent ray? Whether they are parallel to each other or perpendicular to each other? Whether they are parallel to each other or perpendicular to each other? Parallel. So, what is a lateral shift antandre? Whenever a ray of light is passed through a parallel sided glass slab, this must be specified. Yavadra lateral shift agtade helಬೇಕು. Whenever a ray of light is passed through a parallel sided glass slab, the perpendicular distance between incident ray extended and the emergent ray is called as lateral shift. The perpendicular distance ಏನಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು lateral shift ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Lateral shift ಅಂದ್ರೆ distance ಅದು. Lateral shift is nothing but distance. So lateral shift is defined as the perpendicular distance between incident ray extended and the emergent ray when ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೀಗಾಗ್ತದೆ, when a ray of light is passed through a parallel sided glass slab. Whenever a ray of light is passed through parallel sided glass slab, this is called as this perpendicular distance between incident ray extended and the emergent ray when ray of light is passed through parallel sided glass slab is called as lateral shift. And in this case, the incident ray extended and the emergent ray remain parallel to each other. Avaradu one parallel is right? So this is known as a lateral shift. Is the idea of lateral shift clear? Lateral shift ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಿಲ್ಲ, it is just a distance. ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೀಗೆ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ray ಹೀಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು, emergent ray ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ray ಇಂದ emergent ray ಎಷ್ಟು perpendicular distance ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೀಗೆ ಬಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಬಂತು, incident ray extended ಇರುತ್ತೆ, emergent ray ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಬಂತು, that perpendicular distance is to be measured. That is called as lateral shift. Is the idea of lateral shift clear? If it is clear, we will write a formula for calculating lateral shift. lateral shift ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ lateral shift ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ how to calculate it ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ lateral shift is generally represented by ls ಇದಲ್ಲ this is lateral shift. Lateral shift is generally represented by ls and is given by t cos I minus r divided t sin I minus r divided by cos r. This is the formula using which you can calculate the lateral shift. We do not have the derivation of it. Instead, we just have mention of expression for lateral shift. Mention an expression for lateral shift and explain the terms of curve. Lateral shift is given by ls is equals to t sin of I minus r divided by cos r, where I is angle of incidence, r is angle of refraction, p is the thickness of the glass slab. P is the thickness of the glass slab. Now, suppose if angle of incidence, suppose if angle of incidence is 0, angle of incidence yaವಾಗ 0 ಆಗ್ತದೆ when reactor is incident along the normal. When angle of incidence is 0, can you tell me what will be the angle of refraction? Can you tell me what will be the angle of refraction? The reactor is incident along the normal. What will be the angle of refraction in this case? Very good. A ray of light incident along the normal passes undeviated the trail. Snell's law cannot be applied for the case of normal incidence, right? I have discussed about normal incidence. So R will be equal to 0. So when a ray of light is allowed to pass along the normal, angle of incidence will be 0 and angle of refraction will also be 0. So what will be the lateral shift in this case? In case the lateral shift ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ t into sin 0 minus 0 is 0. Sin 0 is 0. 0 divided by everything will be 0. So whenever a ray of light is incident along the normal, there will be no lateral shift. Lateral shift parallel. Suppose if this is a parallel sided glass slab and if this is normal at some point, ray of light is incident along the normal. This is incident. This is incident. A ray of light incident along the normal undergoes bending or passes undeviated. A ray of light is incident along the normal. This ray of light undergoes bending or passes undeviated. Enaguತ್ತಿdu? It should undergo bending, right? A ray of light is incident along the normal. It should undergo bending or it passes undeviated. Ray of light undergoes bending or passes undeviated. Undeviated passes. So passes undeviated. The ray of light, see this ray of light is traveling through glass. It is incident at this point. At the point of incidence, will again draw normal. Hagadre glass value ray of light has incident agade. Even in the glass, the ray of light is incident along the normal. So from glass to air, the ray of light must again pass undeviated or it should get bent ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ because in the glass the ray of light is incident along the normal again it passes undeviated. Do we have any shift in this case? Lateral shift is defined as perpendicular distance between incident ray extended and the emergent ray. Okay, this is incident ray. I extend it. This is emergent ray. What is the perpendicular distance between incident ray and emergent ray in this case? Illena lateral shift agada. Do we observe any lateral shift in this case? Illena ray of light hೀಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆ ಕಡೆ ದೂರ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ. So lateral shift in case of normal incidence will be minimum. 0 ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ in case of normal incidence, the lateral shift is minimum. When ray of light is incident at an angle of 0 degree, angle of refraction will also be 0 degree and there will be no lateral shift in that case. ಈ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಲಾಬ್ ಮೇಲೆ ray of light ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಿದ್ದರೆ ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಿದ್ದಿತ್ತು ಅದೇ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Right, there will be no shifting, there will be no lateral shift. Normal incidence na ಅಷ್ಟೇ lateral shift ಇರಲ್ಲ. So this is the minimum lateral shift. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ maximum ಯಾವಾಗ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ lateral shift? Correct ಅಲ್ಲ? Minimum lateral shift ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ when ray of light is incident along the normal, the lateral shift will be minimum. Lateral shift maximum ಯಾವಾಗ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ? Suppose I is equals to 90 degree. Suppose if a ray of light is incident at 90 degree, andre if this is a glass slab, suppose this is a parallel sided glass slab of thickness T, this is normal drawn to the surface. Suppose a ray of light is incident in this manner. Suppose this is incident, this is normal. Look at the angle between incident ray and the normal. We call this kind of incidence as grazing incidence. Correct? Whenever a ray of light passes along with the surface of a medium, we call it as grazing incidence. In fact, this angle of refraction is to 90 degree. Right? Under this condition, you expect the ray of light to travel along straight and be around the corner. This is incident ray extended. This is incident ray extended. Right? But what actually happens is the ray of light, instead of passing along straight line, it bends at this point and it comes out this way. We overcome the field, but because the ray of light is traveling from one medium to another medium, it bends, travels this way, comes out this way. So, angle of incidence 90 degree. Lateral shift calculate. We do not know what is angle of refraction. We calculate. Ls is equals to T into sin I is known 90 minus R divided by cos R. We do not know what is R. We will substitute as it is. R again required. T is sin 90 minus R divided by cos R. What is sin 90 minus R?